In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to calculate the curve of best fit, also known as a regression equation. So the first thing I need is a set of data, and we're going to be putting this set of data into our calculator. And this data is going to be quadratic data. I'm going to tell you that ahead of time. So let's go ahead and start by pressing Stat. And then we're going to choose option 1, Edit. By pressing Enter, you'll go to the list columns, and we're going to be using list 1 and list 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my data into the columns. I'm going to put my X value, or my independent value data points, into my L1, and then in my L2 I'm going to put my Y values, which is my dependent variable. So I'm going to do that by pressing the numbers, and after each number I'm going to press Enter. Once you're finished with your X values, you can use the directional arrow keys to move over to the right, and that'll take you to the L2 column. I'm going to go ahead and put my Y values in there. Okay, double check your numbers and make sure they're accurate, and make sure that each X value has a corresponding Y value and that both of the columns look symmetric. Okay, now that your data is in, let's go ahead and look at what the data looks like on the coordinate plane. To do that, we're going to go to, we need to get to this little stat plot here. So to do that, I have to press the blue button. So I'm going to press second, Y equals, and I'm going to choose option number 1 because this is my scatter plot. And right now the scatter plot is off, so I need to go in and turn it on. So I'm going to go ahead and press Enter. And you have to remember, if you're going to graph a regular equation going forward, you have to go and make sure that your scatter plot is off. Okay, so now that it's on, let's go ahead and press Graph. You can see that it brings us up to our coordinate plane, and we can't actually see the data. So we have to go and we have to press Zoom, and we have to choose option 9, which is Zoom Stat. When I do that, the calculator will zoom in on our data set. You can see that our data set is in fact a nice curve, which is a quadratic. So we're going to be looking for the equation of the curve of best fit. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to now go to Stat. We're going to go to the right to Calc. And this time we're going to choose option number 5, which is Quadrag, which is quadratic regression. So choose option 5. And go ahead and press Enter a couple of times until the cursor is on Calculate, and calculate your curve of best fit. So you can see here that the equation is a quadratic equation in standard form, where the A is your A coefficient, your B is your B coefficient, and your C is your C coefficient. So now that we have this information, this is the calculated equation of best fit. Now, if you actually want to see what that looks like in your graph, you're going to have to make sure that you've calculated it. So you've made it to this point here. We're going to go to Y equals. We're going to choose VARS. And we're going to choose option 5, Statistics. And we're going to move the right arrow button over to EQ. And then we're going to choose option 1, which is Regression Equation. So choose Enter. And you can see it took that calculated equation and it popped it into Y equals. Now go ahead and press Graph, and you can see that it graphed our quadratic regression equation.